Hey there and welcome. Have you ever just wished you could, upgrade your brain, get a little sharper, learn things a little bit faster? Well, today we're diving into the science that shows you absolutely can. We're going to look at the foundational ideas behind the habits that can literally rewire your mind for growth. So let's jump right in with a huge question. Is your intelligence, your IQ, some fixed number that you're just stuck with for your whole life? For the longest time, most people would have said, yep, pretty much. But what if that's just completely wrong? It really boils down to these two ways of thinking. You've got the fixed mindset over here, which says your talents are what they are, end of story. And then you've got the growth mindset, which says your brain is like a muscle. You can train it, you can develop it with effort. And let me tell you, modern science is siding very, very heavily with one of these. And that leads us to what we can call the great IQ myth. This is an idea that has shaped so much, our schools, our careers, how we see ourselves. But honestly, it's an idea that's really starting to crumble under the weight of what we know now. This belief was, well, it was simple, but kind of bleak, right? It basically suggested that if you weren't born a genius, then tough luck. This kind of thinking puts people into boxes, and it can limit their potential before they even get a chance to see what they're capable of. But thankfully, our whole understanding of the human brain has been turned on its head. And this is it. This is the revolutionary truth that just shatters that old myth. Your brain isn't some static thing set in stone. It is constantly, actively changing based on what you do, what you think, and what you experience. The fancy scientific name for this superpower is neuroplasticity. And just look at that definition. It's the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections throughout life. This isn't just something that happens when you're a kid. This is the biological engine that makes personal growth possible at any age. I absolutely love this analogy. Thinking of your brain as fixed hardware, that's the old, outdated model. The new model sees it as adaptable software. And you know the best part about software? It can be updated. And guess who the programmer is? It's you. The habits you build, the things you decide to learn, that's you writing the code for a better, more powerful program. Okay, so if our brain is software that we can update, what's the command prompt? How do we actually install these updates? Well, there's a name for it, and it's probably one of the most powerful tools you have: metacognition. To put it really simply, it's thinking about how you think. It's like you're stepping outside of your own head for a second to watch yourself work. You're observing how you learn, noticing where you're getting stuck, and figuring out which strategies are actually working for you. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own mind and actually being the pilot in the cockpit. And here's how you can actually use it. It's just a simple 3-step loop. First, before you even start something, you plan. You ask yourself, okay, what's my goal? What do I know about this already? How should I start? Then, while you're in the middle of it, you monitor. That's your internal check-in. Is this making sense? Am I lost? Maybe I should go back and read that last paragraph again. And finally, when you're done, you evaluate. What went well? What was super confusing? What's one thing I could do differently next time to make this go smoother? See? It's a constant loop that just makes your learning so much more effective. Now, having a tool like metacognition is one thing, but where do you point it? What do you use it on? Well, you point it at the very thing that fuels neuroplasticity. You point it at the things that are hard. This is so, so crucial. Just coasting on easy tasks, doing stuff you already know how to do, that doesn't rewire your brain. Comfort doesn't build new connections. It's the act of pushing yourself just a little bit outside your comfort zone. Learning that new language, trying to play an instrument, tackling a really complex problem at work. That's what forces your brain to build new highways. I really want you to let this quote sink in for a second. That feeling of effort, of confusion, when things just aren't clicking right away. We've all been taught to see that as a sign of failure, but it's not. That feeling is literally the sensation of your brain working hard, building new stuff, and getting stronger. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most important shift in your mindset. We have to completely reframe how we think about the very feeling of learning itself. Just look at this comparison. The old way of thinking tells us that when we feel frustrated, we should probably just stop because we're obviously not good at it. But the new scientifically backed view, it says the complete opposite. That frustration is a good sign. It is the friction that your brain needs to forge new and stronger circuits. So please, remember this the next time you're learning something new and you hit that wall. Don't back away. Recognize that feeling for what it truly is. It is not a stop sign. It is a signpost telling you that you are on the right track. It's proof that what you're doing is working and that you're actively upgrading your own brain. So, the real question I have for you is this. Now that you know that struggle is actually the path to growth and that you can literally update your own mind, what will you choose to build? What difficult, rewarding skill is going to be your next great update?